So you want to be a deal sourcer, do you? Good luck with that one.
Just kidding, just kidding. Just kidding.
Deal sourcing actually works, but we need to have an honest conversation at least about what deal sourcing entails. Now I know many training companies definitely sell deal sourcing and rent to rents, video over here by the way, as the beginner strategies for people who have just a little bit less capital to actually invest, or even just to entice the younger people to get involved in property very early on. But there's still a lot that you need to know about it. And the first is, well, it takes hard work. And sadly, many of the things worthwhile do take hard work. However, if you want to do something that's really, really easy and actually has amazing returns, then why don't you consider smashing that like button? The effort is almost minimal, and the effects you are making on a grown man sitting in his room recording videos is gonna be amazing. But anyway, let's get down to the video. Deal sourcing. Deal sourcing is one of those things that when you first hear about it, you instantly think and have these kind of thoughts. Wow, I just need to source one deal and I can replace my current job. If I did two, then wow, I could even get the car that I want or the holiday. And if I got three, then I can definitely live that laptop lifestyle on a beach. And trust me, I've had all of those thoughts too back in the day. But the sheer reality of deal sourcing is it's actually slightly more complicated and takes a little bit more effort and money than you may be used to. So what I've done here for the purposes of this video is to run through the following with yourselves. Number one, what is deal sourcing? 2, how to set yourself up as a deal sourcer. And number 3, how to get started and source your actual first deal. Okay, let's get started. So we're gonna start with obviously number 1, what is deal sourcing? So deal sourcing in property is effectively when you act as an agent and package together a property or a deal for an investor. You are effectively the middle person, and you're basically trying to find the types of properties that you feel would suit your investor, and you're then responsible for not only securing these but also ensuring that the deal plays out. Now you can be acting on behalf of a seller too. For example, if you know a seller has a lot of stock, i.e. properties, but generally speaking we tend to act on behalf of investors, i.e. buyers. Now in an ideal situation, you want to be making sure that it's a great experience for all people involved. And then for all your hard work in this process, you will take a sourcing fee, which I'll be honest, is generally plucked from thin air. Most people just make up a figure. Even if you go on Facebook, they're asking, how much should I charge? But average prices that I see tend to range from around £2,000 to £3,000, with some people now adding VAT on the other side. Now, of course, the more expensive deals or those with larger profits can potentially yield more of a fee. Or if you're willing to maybe add a few extras as a deal sourcer, such as project management, turnkey operations, or maybe even letting it out at the end if you have those relationships or skills. Number 2, how to set yourself up as a deal sourcer. Now there's 2 main categories here that we really need to focus on. The first is how to become compliant and the costs involved. And the second is setting up the deal sourcing business. It is a business and it must be run that way, not just something that you think, hey, I'll do this on a weekend or a Thursday, on a Friday and just make a bit of money. So let's begin with compliance costs. Now you need to set up the following. Insurance. Professional indemnity insurance is 100% required, and this would generally cost you circa £300 a year for around £500,000 of cover. The next is you need to be registered with an ombudsman scheme or a property redress this is a tough one, a property redress scheme, and these generally range between £200 and £300 per year. Again, make sure you cover yourselves with at least one of these. And then of course anti-money laundering, that needs to be set up too, and this can generally cost you around £500. Now please note, these aren't something that you can think about doing or they're negotiable, they're necessary. And I've also been on some training companies, I'm not going to name any names, who actually tell you to source your first deal and then worry about this after. But I'm saying if the property police end up checking on you and say, hey Mr. X, and you just say, hey, but Regressive Property told me not to do it, then well, you're still going to be liable and you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot. So just be careful. Next up, the setting up of your actual deal sourcing business. So of course you need a business plan, as with any business. Otherwise, well, what are you doing? And then you'll have the terms of the business that will feature under this. you need to set up firstly a limited company, and you need to ensure that you have the right SIC code. That's SIC. Now also, I'd recommend having some information about the Information Commissioner's Office detailed within at least your business paperwork and somewhere that is available to hand, just to ensure you know how to store and handle your client data. And of course, you need to abide by GDPR with all the client data, and you need to know how to handle it and of course how to protect it. Now at this point, the final thing I'd recommend is that you also do a risk assessment. Okay, next up, how to get started and actually source your first deal. So you've done all the boring stuff, you've done all the mundane stuff, but the legal stuff that you must do. Now, how do we find our first deal? Where is it? Stick with me, I'm gonna help you. So this is actually where things get hard. So you remember at the beginning of the video I said it's hard work? Well, this is the hard work. Because anyone who tells you deal sourcing is easy is lying. I'm sorry, I don't care how great you are, deal sourcing is difficult, at least when you first start. And there's so many different components, and there's always a minimum of 2 people who you have to not only understand their motivations, but then you have to work on achieving their desired outcomes. And to make it even more difficult if you are deal sourcing with no experience, because maybe you're thinking of increasing your pot to go and purchase your own property or flip something further down the road, then it's gonna be even harder. But stick with me, I'm gonna help you through this. So there's a few key skills that you need in order to be a good deal sourcer. The first is great communication skills. Number 2, negotiation skills. Number 3, problem solving skills. Number 4, how to analyze deals, obviously. And number 5, you're gonna need to build some resilience. Now, whether you're acting on behalf of the vendor or the buyer, you need to actually relay effectively the wants of what's required. And at times, well, actually all the time, at least throw some negotiation into the mix. You have to negotiate. And 99% of the time, there's always a chance to negotiate, unless you're Manchester United trying to sign Jadon Sancho. Okay, so now there's two places you need to operate from. Either you are working for investors to find properties that they're actually after, which will then require you to be able to calculate deals, search for deals, negotiate on these deals, understand refurb costs, and understand all the rental demands and all the other costs associated for the actual buyer. Or you could look at the vendor side, and here you would effectively aim to get them the best price by finding investors who would be willing to pay that price. Make sense? And to be honest, this can be as simple as just knowing landlords who are happy to sell at maybe a slight discount, or maybe it can be a little bit more complex, such as a landlord selling something that they haven't seen the potential in or can't be bothered to actually extract all that value, such as turning it into a HMO, for example. And then you might know Mr. X over here who really wants to turn a property into a HMO. Connect those dots. So hopefully this kind of helps, but the main thing you really need to realize throughout this process is it will take so much time. Because the fact of the matter is you will need to view loads of houses, you would definitely get rejected. You will need to speak to loads of potential investors, you will definitely get tire kickers. You will also need to throw offers on literally everything. Do not miss a property without an offer. And of course, you won't get accepted on all of those. But you will also, if you stick at this and you consistently build on that resilience, get used to no's, you will potentially be able to source a deal, whether that's for a buyer or for a vendor. Now, I appreciate a lot of what I'm saying here isn't the intricate details. So if there are any questions, then please do drop them down below. And as always, as you can see from all my videos, I generally respond to 99.999% of them. But there is one caveat. I'm only gonna answer your question if, of course, you like this video. Even though technically I wouldn't even know if you've liked the video. And I'm probably still gonna answer your questions. But hey, do a guy a favor and maybe just do something that's gonna require you the least effort today, but give myself and this channel the best rewards. Ah wait, I haven't finished. And finally, the procedure I just remembered. So once you actually have the deal accepted by a vendor, for example, let's say you manage to secure it at £80,000, but the property on the market value is worth £100,000. You can definitely pass this on to an investor. Now, your sourcing fee will generally depend on the overall value and the contribution that you've literally put into this deal. And you also have to account for their profits that they're after as well. So for example, if an investor wants £10,000 discount on a property for true market value, then you have around £10,000 to play with. Now, of course, for this particular example, I wouldn't necessarily probably charge £10,000 off the bat. But if you choose something where you can maybe renovate the project by maybe spending £20,000, for example, but then having the final valuation once it's renovated much closer to £150,000, then charging £10,000 could be a possibility. Because if we just factor in all of those costs, including the sourcing fee, the renovation fee, and the legals and stuff, it's going to be around £110,000. Slightly more, and the end user would therefore have a turnkey project that would give them £40,000 of profit in equity or in cash should they choose to sell it. So just keep these in mind. And the one thing I definitely recommend, especially for new budding deal sources, don't get greedy. Don't get greedy in this game. Think of it as a long-term game. Even if the investor only has cash for one property, don't think I'm going to take as much from this person as possible. Trust me, if you do a good job, they'll recommend you. They'll know other people, and I truly believe in the principle of under-promising and over-delivering on every single thing that you do. And if you continue to do that throughout life, you'll never have to worry about finding the right people to work for. So with that, I want to thank you amazing people for obviously liking the video and of course sticking around and helping this channel grow. And of course, I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching.